In this video, I'll tell you the secret of why slowing down can save time when painting your wargaming miniatures. Can I paint an army in 24 hours? No, I doubt that I can. I mean, maybe, like, if I didn't sleep or, like, talk to my wife or, like, hang out with my cats or stuff like that. But do I want to? Also, no. I have plenty of YouTuber friends who've made videos about painting an army in 24 hours or painting an army in a weekend. And that's fine, but it's not for me. Like if you had to, for some weird reason, maybe like to win a bet or something, then I guess that's great, you know? But focusing so much on speed, especially if you're just kind of first starting out in miniature painting, it doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Just to begin, here's the first question you should ask when thinking about trying to paint an army in 24 hours or a weekend or something like that. Why are you giving yourself that deadline? Is it because you didn't know about the upcoming tournament until 2 days before, and you also need to bring a totally new army for it? Or is it because you're the type of person that just wants to rip off the Band-Aid and do all of the horrible painting that you don't like in one big 24 or 48 hour chunk and then be over with it? Because neither of those reasons are why YouTubers make those videos. One reason that they make those videos is because they're provocative. They can have, provocative titles that get people to click, especially if you make a crazy, overtired and harried face in the thumbnail, ooh, that super helps, I guess. I don't know. However, the better reason is this. Those videos generally give you, the viewer, a bunch of different techniques that can help you to speed up your overall painting output. Those videos aren't generally made as a step-by-step kind of guide to painting an identical army actually in 24 hours. Instead, they generally kind of give you a bunch of ideas and guidelines on how to be, efficient in your painting. And some of us need that. However, I think about it a bit differently. I believe more painters, especially newer painters who are trying to get better at painting their miniatures, they should really try slowing down rather than speeding up. I mean, you don't see videos like how to win a golden demon in 24 hours, do you? I mean, well, besides Squidmar. Otherwise, not so much. And it's because good painting takes time. And especially when you're new to the hobby, taking your time can really help you out and teach you good brush handling and paint techniques and stuff like that. The speed will come later. I've had this thought a lot lately as I've worked on minis and terrain. Now, I want to be clear here, right? I've never been into taking 40 or 50 or more hours on a single model. That's not what I'm talking about here. I did near to that kind of time on a model once with my entry in the Capital Palette competition at Nova Open back in 2023. But I did not get bit by the display painting bug after getting that finished, even though I did win technically a gold medal. But ciao. I still paint for tabletop quality generally, or what I hope to sometimes be tabletop plus quality. Sometimes I succeed with the plus, and sometimes not so much. As I said, I've been thinking about this when I've been painting lately. If I decide I want to paint something really quickly, I mean fast, then I find I'm pretty unhappy with it later. And sometimes I'm just trying to paint quickly because I have so much stuff to paint, so much stuff to get through, right? But if I mess it up a lot, then I really wish that I hadn't even bothered to paint it, because now it's all screwed up, right? So these days, I find that I keep telling myself that it's not a race, and spending a little extra time to get things right will make the final outcome better. And that lasts a lot longer than the time that I might have saved by painting quickly. I think that this is something that's important for tabletop painters to understand. Your miniatures will be completed, once you complete them, for a lot longer time than it took to paint them. If you took 6 hours to paint this miniature, it'll then be completed and in that final state for as long as you have the miniature, maybe even the rest of your life. So if you shave an hour off of that paint time and then end up with a slightly jankier final paint job, then that will be the final state of the model, that it has from now on. And again, maybe for the rest of your life. So is that extra hour you saved really worth it? Remember, I'm talking about like tabletop miniatures for you to play with on the tabletop. If you're a commission painter, time is money, totally different story. Also, not talking about display quality like trying to win an award stuff. If you're trying to win awards in some kind of painting competition, then you should give yourself ample time and work on it as long as you want until you are as happy as you can be, right? They always say that if you, as an artist, are 100% happy with the outcome of your work, then you should probably quit being an artist, because artists truly are always supposed to feel that they can improve more. Art isn't finished, it's abandoned, all those old chestnuts. But it's different for tabletop painters. The majority of us are tabletop painters. We want painted models on the tabletop to play games with. And yes, getting things done more quickly is better than every tabletop model taking like forever, tons and tons and tons of time. That's mainly what those I can paint my army in 24 hours videos are trying to teach you. Ways to find efficiencies in your painting technique so that you can get more models painted more quickly. But the important thing that you have to figure out is where that line is, right? At which point are you rushing too much for the quality that you want? I recently learned how to sew patches onto a jacket. I mean, it's not particularly hard, I know, but you still kind of need to know the techniques to be able to do it, right? In the past, I'd asked my wife to sew patches for me, and she did it because she is very nice. But recently, I figured I should learn how to do it so I don't have to put it all on her before Adepticon. So she showed me how to do it, and the knot and the thing and the whatever, all that kind of stuff. And I got going, putting a few patches on my Army Painter jacket, as Adepticon is next week. And very quickly, I learned that it's kind of a lot like painting miniatures. If I really tried to speed it up, right? So either I could do more patches in one sitting, or so I could get done quickly and then go do something else, then I could easily see that I was going to not use enough stitches and not properly affix the patch to the jacket, or not get the stitches in the right place, too close to the edge or too deep in or whatever. And then also, possibly have weird extra strings and not tight enough and stuff hanging from the patch and ugh. And again, this is me as a new patch sewer. So I knew the technique to a degree, but I didn't have the muscle memory all figured out yet. On the other hand, if I took a ton of time to make every single stitch perfect and completely hidden on the patch where you'd never see it and all that kind of stuff, then a single patch would probably take me all night and, just to get one done. And I'd probably end up removing some of the stitches and starting over a few times because of, all those kind of problems. Now, remember, the price of perfection is prohibitive. Pachow. So very quickly, I started to have ideas about how much care was needed to affix this patch to this jacket, and adjusted my effort to match my expectations, much like I do when I'm painting miniatures. Generally, done is done, right? Once you've painted the miniature or sewed the patch, that's the way it's going to look. Now, happily in both cases, it doesn't have to be forever. You can repaint the miniature, maybe strip the paint and start over, or just prime over it and do it again. And with patches, that you sew on your jacket or whatever, you can always just cut the stitches and all that kind of stuff and reposition it and then do it again, when you get better at it. But if you really speed through either of these operations, you'll either end up having to live with it the way it is, or do it again. So as a general piece of advice about how to paint your miniatures, I'd tell you to slow down a little when you're doing it, especially when you're first starting out, and especially if you don't want to paint the model again down the road. And by slow down, I actually mean that you should literally slow your brush movements when you're trying to put paint on like a very specific place, right? And not get it on like a different part that you say already painted. Like taking an extra 30 seconds to paint the area where the boots meet the pants will save you effort later. Sometimes you just want to like speed through a piece of a model to get it done. And then you try to do it, and you goof it up. Now you have to fix it, which takes extra time. If you had just been a bit more careful and slow and controlled your paint strokes a little bit more on that part, then you wouldn't have to spend the extra time fixing it afterwards. Slowing down some and keeping more control of your paintbrush at the right times, specific details, highlights, faces, etc., will help your models come out better, which also helps to build your painting confidence. Years ago, I also noticed that as I painted more and more, I eventually just started getting faster. Pachow. I'm sure a person who's like sewed patches on things all the time, almost maybe as a professional patch sewer, like they would also have like this muscle memory and techniques and tricks to sew patches like way faster than I could. Watching pro painters, you see this as well. They seem to just like fly over the model sometimes and make it look amazing in certain areas, like wet blending and all kinds of stuff like that. But other times, they really slow down where it counts. When I was at VinciCon last year, I'm pretty sure Ninjon just worked on this model's face for 4 days. It was because it was a very important part of the model, and I'm pretty sure he's trying to win a golden demon with it as well. But it shows that slowing down is important, even for pros. Now, I can't tell you to just paint a face for 4 days, but I will tell you to actively try to not speed through the important details on your models as you paint them. Slow down a little and turn that part from a chore into a craft. You'll be a lot happier for a lot longer when you finish the entire model, even though you may not get your army painted in 24 hours. Remember, it's a hobby, not a jobby. Do you find yourself speeding through certain parts of your miniatures and then being unhappy with them or having to go back and try and fix them? Or do you think you spend far too long on getting your miniatures painted? Let us all know down in the comments below. And if you like videos like this, some depressmentation of the like button really helps me to get these messages out to more people and more new painters. And if you want to see more videos from this channel every single week, then you can hit subscribe down there while you're down there as well. It's free. Thanks for watching.